Chapter 8 The Mouse in the Couch. Jacob opened his small, worn suitcase and neatly placed within it few clothes, a pencil, a scrap of paper, and 2 books Mariska had given him. Its musty smell reminded him of Aunt Hannah. Yurik's grunts and groans as he and Vladek strained to close a bulging trunk brought Jacob back to see the present. Except for the opening and closing of drawers and occasional murmured instruction, the house was quiet. The police visit had been a close call. Alex had immediately gone out to look for another apartment, and they were moving that morning. "Gaylor," Mela exclaimed, greeting Jacob's uncle warmly. Yes, going to see Jenyek. But remember," she said, gesturing to the boxes surrounding them, "we're in a hurry." Walking into the bedroom, Gaylor gently pinched Jacob on the cheek. "You look much better." Jacob didn't lift his head. Dr. Gaylor raised Jacob's chin to find his eyes brimming with tears. "I heard what happened," he said softly. Jacob swallowed, unable to speak. Alex and Mela had told him a dozen times it wasn't his fault. "This is a terrible time. Everything is crazy," Alex had said. And Mela had added, "How could you know Gregory would see you?" Still, Jacob blamed himself. Gaylor had no words to console his nephew. Instead, he told him, "I saw Shalom a few days ago." Jacob brightened at the mention of his brother's name. Gaylor didn't tell him how thin, dirty, and slicky the boy appeared. "He is safe in a house in the country, and little David is on a farm." Gaylor chuckled. "He's so smart. He makes believe he's very shy and doesn't want the farmer's wife to help bathe or dress him. Really, he wants to hide his circumcision from them." His voice dropped. "I don't know how long I can keep the boys where they are." Every bit of money Gaylor could get went to pay the Poles, to hide Shalom and David. Jacob nodded soberly. He felt lucky to be with the Roslins. Despite the hiding, the lies, the plans, and the everyday struggle to stay alive, life was normal in this generous and loving family. Once in a while, in the midst of a card game or a math problem, Jacob even forgot the past, and he didn't worry about the future. Gaylor stood and stretched his tall, increasingly gaunt frame, then bent to pick up Jacob's featherweight suitcase to carry into the living room. Alex took Gaylor aside and whispered, "The new place we're moving to is not in as nice a neighborhood, but it's bigger." After a quick look to be sure Mela couldn't hear, he added, "We could take another boy." Gaylor grabbed Alex's hands. "Thank you, Rosalind. The middle boy, Shalom, should be moved. He's living in," his voice caught, "in a goat shed. He shares a bed and food scraps with a goat." Reaching into his pocket, Alex handed some money to Gaylor, who began to protest but abruptly stopped. Who was he kidding? He had no savings left. Every day grew harder. "Thanks, Rosalind, after the war." Alex silenced him with a wave of the hand. "We'll worry about that later. Now let's take care of the boys." While they spoke, Vladek watched them carefully, frustrated at not being able to hear the conversation. Turning to Mela, he asked, "Why does your husband have to be a hero? How long will you keep this Jew boy?" Every night, Mela lay awake with fear, worrying constantly whether they were doing the right thing. How many more times would they have to move? Would they make one fatal mistake? Yet she would never send Genyek away. She replied, "And what will happen to the boy, Vladek? He'll be killed." Vladek shrugged. "Mela, enough is enough. You have children of your own." He paused, placing a hand on his chest. "What about them?" "Look, Vladek," Mela said slowly, as though she were speaking to a very young child. She loved her brother, but she knew he would never understand. You don't want to stay with us. Go where you won't have to worry about your own neck." She spat out the last word, causing Vladik to wince. Vladik smiled pathetically. "I always knew Alex was crazy. You've been married to him so long. You're crazy too." Then he took Mella's hand. "And I must be crazy too, because I want to stay and help." "Good, then let's help Alex with the couch," she said, taking a last look at their home. Alex stood by the sofa, lifting up a cushion. He said, "Climb in, Geniac." Jacob shuddered, looking at the hole Alex had cut under the cushion. "I won't be able to breathe." "You still don't trust me?" Alex asked in mock of his aspiration. "I drilled holes underneath for you. Do you have a better disguise for walking the streets of Warsaw with your curly black hair and brown eyes?" Jacob shook his head, angry and ashamed and confused. "Climb inside then," Alex said gently. Jacob disappeared into the couch through the hole cut under the cushion. Almost immediately, he popped his head up. "Uncle Alex, it's hot and dark." "Make believe you're a mouse," Marischka said. Jacob giggled and squeaked his answer, dropping down once more. As if by magic, the couch rose into the air. Alex, Yurik, and Vladik lifted it into the cart. Jacob felt the thud of boxes being piled on top of the couch. "Good luck to the Germans if they can find me under all this," Jacob thought with grim satisfaction. The warmth and softness within a sofa, along with the cart's wheels rhythmically bumping over the cobblestone street, lulled Jacob like a baby in a cradle, until a sharp German command jerked him into alertness. On the way to the new house, they were passing Nazi soldiers. An image of Alex, smiling and waving to everyone, calm, confident, and privately thrilled to be fooling the Germans, helped Jacob relax back to sleep. The top of the Buick convertible was down. He loved the wind in his hair. As they drove to the country, he said, "Mama, don't wear that babushka on your head. The air feels wonderful, and I can't see your face." His mother laughed as he united the babushka. Still, he could not see her face. The cart abruptly stopped. Jacob found himself floating once again through the air. He must be at the new apartment, he thought. At least we'd better be there. He worried a moment later, fighting a powerful urge to peek ever so slightly out of the couch. A moment later, the couch touched the ground. Yurik threw off the cushions and said, "Okay, Mouse, crawl out." Still cautious, Jacob poked his head up, finding himself in a large, empty room. "Our new home?" he asked, as a struggle to free himself from the couch. "Yes," Alex answered. "Look around, but remember—" "I know. Don't go near the windows, right?" Alex shook his finger at him, smiling. He wanted this especially bright little boy to survive. As the children wandered through the 4 rooms, marveling at the extra space, Vladik moved towards Mella, who was busy unpacking boxes, and asked, "How long do you think you can keep him a secret?" Mella stood up and faced her brother, wondering what to do about his fear. How trustworthy was he? "It's not a problem anymore," Alex said, stepping between Mella and Vladik. "At least not for you. Go home, Vladik, now, and keep your mouth shut." Before Vladik could say a word, Mella said, "Don't worry about us. It's only when you're unsure that you make mistakes." Looking from Alex to Mella, Vladik found no uncertainty. They were kicking him out. Picking his knapsack, he waved goodbye to Alex, Mella, and the children. "Good luck," he said softly, closing the door.